Hello and welcome back to another episode of the White Sox March to October. And we're hopping into the game right away today because it's in the late innings. It's the 8th inning. We've got a 1-0 lead and Jared Schuster's actually going off. Hang on, what did I see his stat line was? Yeah, he's gone 7, allowed 1 hit, and has punched out 9. It looks like our 1 run has come from an Ezekiel Duran home run, his 3rd of the season. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave Jared Schuster and I'm gonna see what he can do. I would obviously like to score some more runs in our bottom half of the 8th to make the 9th a little bit more manageable, but also we got to actually get to the bottom of the 8th maintaining this lead, so maybe that's what I should focus on. Okay, we finally got him. He put up a little bit of a fight there, but that's a 10 punch-out game now for Jared Schuster. And even though I wouldn't say I worry about our division at all in terms of, you know, not winning it, but right now, early in the season, the Tigers are the team that's keeping pace with us. We're both 5-2, so if we can manage to finish this game, knock them off, we can take the division lead and never look back. And there we go. We love a 1-pitch out against a pinch hitter. I also didn't realize until after I was done making last episode, but and you know, this would get us out of the 8th inning, so good job from Schuster. But I realized that in my frustration with the whole Edgar Caro Connie Kang situation, I actually forgot to show you guys what the lineup was looking like, what the roster was actually looking like, which I normally like to do after the opening day game, but I was just blinded by rage. So we'll get into that after this game's over with, after we wrap up this win. All right, and he's gonna walk Mejia on 5 pitches to lead off our bottom of the 8th. Sure, give me a free base runner. Can't take him out, can't bring in any speed because we don't have a backup catcher. Oh my god, he threw 3 of the same type of sliders and they all got me. Actually, the first 2 I at least fouled off. That one I just was not even close to because I wasn't expecting it a 3rd time. Oh no, I hit that one too well. Okay. I want to see that PCI again because I don't really know how I wasn't under that. Yeah, dude. The middle dot there was underneath the ball. How is that not something I got under more? But actually, though, I don't know. With Fletcher's power, maybe hitting it to center and getting under it more wouldn't have been any better. Oh, and the slider gets me again, that one out of the zone. That was his best pitch that inning, that front door slider. Well, I know I didn't add on to our lead. I have Garrett Crochet ready, but I want to give Jared Schuster a chance because he is not somebody that I think of when I think of who on our rotation can throw a complete game shutout. Well, actually, look at the bottom there. Jake Eder just hurled a complete game shutout, apparently. I feel like if Eder did it, we got to give Schuster the chance to do it. They're basically the same guy. There we go. There's one. Oh, and look at this spot right on the edge of the zone. Come on, Schuster, you just need one more. Oh, and the changeup gets him strike 3 to end it. I think that's 12 strikeouts for Jared Schuster in a complete game, 1-hit shutout. What a way to start today's episode. I don't know, him and Jake Eder have both been pitchers that I've just kind of this whole time, this whole March to October, has been like, So to see Schuster do that, and then according to the ticker at the bottom, to see Eder do the same thing last game, I really like seeing that. If those 2 lefties with a limited pitch mix can continue giving me good outings, and we'll reload this momentum meter immediately back up to I think where it was after opening day. It looks pretty similar. Can we 4-game sweep these Tigers? Oh yeah, scouting stuff. Feel like every season this catches me off guard. I forget that it exists. We really don't have any sort of scouting budget here. Our scouts are already all pretty good, so I might not do anything. I might not be able to do anything. Yep, I'm just gonna leave it as is. All of our scouts are fine. They have their strengths. They all have good efficiency. We pick up another win against the Tigers, and now I actually have to scout. I don't know though, I'm not gonna lie. That whole Connie Kang thing kind of took the wind out of my sails when it comes to scouting in the draft and all that, because if we don't even get to hang on to my number 1 pick when I was like the 5th pick in the draft, then what's the use? Are we ever gonna see any of my draft picks? None of them have made it to the MLB yet. I'm probably also not gonna spend as much time focusing on the scouting this season, just because even Connie Kang's situation aside, we are kind of getting to that point where it's like, how many more seasons do we have left in us for the draft classes to actually matter? Like, are they gonna make it to the MLB before we're done? So anyway, moving on then, we do sweep Detroit in a 4-game series, so we have taken control control of the division. And we kept the win streak going against the A's. Now we got to play to keep it alive. We get another 1-run lead. We are 9-2, already leading the division by 3 games. And then let me actually talk about these lineups before I forget it again, because I did set it up how I wanted to, depending on, if we're facing a righty or a lefty. It's pretty standard to what we'd normally have, except there is a few decisions that I made that we'll have to monitor. The big one being I'm deciding to start Jordan Lawler just all time. Even though his hitting's not that strong, and especially not that strong against righties, I like his fielding. He's got gold fielding with a lot of speed, in case he needs that to get to a ball. He actually started the season hot when I checked in on him before starting recording today, but it seems like he's dropped off a bit. But yeah, I also figure with his A potential, if I give him as much playing time as I can and he actually plays well, that's probably going to help him develop quicker too. Kind of like it did with Colson Montgomery back in year 1. Remember how he shot up in overall so quick? Which, speaking of him, I have him playing third, which seems like a bit of a more natural position for him. And then since we don't have Eloy clogging up the DH spot just automatically anymore, I actually had to make a decision for what I wanted to do. So I decided to have Austin Hayes DH. Even though his fielding itself isn't that bad, it's that reaction at 52 and then not really much speed to make up for a slow reaction. So I decided to DH him. We'll put Ezekiel Duran now in left field, who we have seen play the outfield before. He's played right field in the Fletcher platoon, so we know he's solid out there. But then it was also because I kind of wanted to get Colin Houck in the field and not just have him DHing, because his fielding is pretty solid up at an 80. And also I gotta point out that since we also moved on from Vaughn, we're finally able to play Vlad at first base, which he's repaying me now by losing an attribute there and dropping that fielding badge down to a bronze. And then against lefties, we're still maintaining that platoon that sits down Dominic Fletcher, even though Fletcher's been getting better and better against lefties, and he's kind of at the point with 56 contact, 47 power, where like, yeah, that's not great, but it's playable. And if we didn't have the DH spot open, I probably would be playing him, but I feel like we got to get Nick Senzel's bat in the lineup against a left-handed starter, especially if he doesn't have to play the field. So he's DHing, batting cleanup. We got Fletcher on the bench. But then for this one, what we'll be monitoring is Colson Montgomery, because I also have him starting, and he was not too good lefty last season. You can kind of actually see in his development that the lefty stats have lagged behind his versus righty stats, and that's just because he didn't play well against lefties last year, so those attributes didn't increase. So if he continues to struggle against lefties, then I'll probably find some way to take him out, bring Fletcher back in, and then work out the positions later. And then I guess just to finalize everything, even though we did kind of look at this already, there was 2 additions to the bullpen in the offseason that I didn't really mention, because I mentioned signing Dustin May and bringing back Garrett Crochet, and those were 2 of the 3 guys on my targeting list. We also signed Matt Strom because he came to me asking to get signed, and then Phil Maton was a CPU end of the offseason auto signing, but he's actually pretty solid. But actually though, glancing at these inning pitch numbers so far and then glancing at our starters, seems like everyone besides Jordan Montgomery so far has kind of been taking care of business in the starter role. And actually, I didn't even notice this. Does Jared Schuster have 2 complete game shutouts to start his season? Dude, put this guy on the Cy Young watch. Oh my God. And then one last thing to point out. I know I'm yapping a lot here, but I did decide to also add Edgar Caro to our targeting list along with Connie Kang. Because I mean, even disregarding the whole thought of like getting our guy back, I would also still just like a backup catcher on the roster. And Edgar Caro at a 72 overall, he's good enough to do that. So if we can trade for him and that trade puts him on the big league roster, I would still think that'd be a good trade. And then on top of that, that would also be getting a guy back that we were excited seeing develop. But anyways, let's get into this next game, keeping this winning streak alive against Oakland. It looks like they're putting some pressure on here. They put up 4 in the 6th. Now they've got a couple of runners on here in the 8th. And I guess we get to see Phil Maton in action in this this setup man role. And it looks like, has he really thrown 5 pitches, given up 2 base runners so far? That's not a good start to trying to preserve a lead. Actually though, there's a lot of hits and a lot of runs scored. So what has happened today? We've got 2 Luis Robert Jr. home runs to put him up to 9 already. Isn't this only game 12? Francisco Mejia is 4 for 4. Lawler and Duran both have doubles. Vlad's out here stealing bases, his 3rd of the season. Jake Eater though got roughed up a bit. That's a difficult outing to look at there. 12 hits, 6 runs allowed in 6. And then they brought Phil Maton in. He's given up a hit. It must be that Montgomery error. That was their other base runner. That's where I kind of wish the CPU, I guess, logic would be a little bit better. Because, yeah, like, I know Maton's in the setup role, but Clay Holmes is such a higher overall pitcher, and he's at full energy. I wish they'd just, like, recognize that and be like, hey, let's use our best arm in this spot where we've got a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. I don't know. I guess that's a bit too much to ask for. We do at least have to use Maton for one hitter. Oh, yeah, and I forgot they told me he was gonna sack bunt. Can we at least make the play? Nice job, Colson. You know what? I don't want to take any chances. I'm taking Maton out. I'm bringing Holmes in. We trust Clay Holmes by this point. I trust him enough that I'm not even gonna walk the guy. There we go. We strike out the 9-hole hitter. Easy stuff once you get Clay Holmes into the game, man. And now we get to use Luis Robert Jr. with 2 home runs already. Can we make it 3? Oh, nope, he got me chasing at the curve. That actually, for whatever reason, was a really good curveball. We actually, I noticed on the scoreboard, we haven't scored since the 3rd inning, and this dude has 62 pitches on the mound, so whoever Mitch Spence is has absolutely shut us down. Well, that didn't last too much. Well, actually, hang on. No, it is gonna go. Yeah, so that didn't last too long after I said that. Ezekiel Duran doing his thing again. I am just so good hitting with this guy. He's up to 5 homers now. And there we go. Now we can feel a little bit more comfortable heading into the 9th inning. Oh, and Vlad? Dude, that just jumped off his bat. I didn't think that was that good of a swing, but that went, I think, further than Duran's. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the distance on Duran's, but that one was 404. I guess that's the difference 99 power makes. You don't even have to have good timing. You don't have to have a perfect swing, and it goes further than the dude's perfect homer. Wait a second. They just said they brought this guy in and he's making his major league debut. So who is this? Now I'm interested. 68 overall, 22 years old. His attributes actually don't look that bad for a 68 overall. So let's try and ruin his day a bit. Let's get Nick Senzel out of the game. Bring in a lefty. Oh my god, hang on. That came off the bat with nothing, but that was actually a really nice swing. Is William Takatsu just like a cheat code? Oh, and then I'm on top of that. So, all right, well, we gave him a really nice major league debut then. 3 pitches, 2 outs. All right, well, let's go ahead and hopefully do some stat padding here. 3-run lead save for Garrett Crochet. Ooh, okay. He made contact at least, but Houck's there. Look at that gold badge looking nice. And there we go, way out in front of the slider. And there we go, the slider sits down Josh Naylor, who's now on the A's. Nice little win there. I always feel better about a win when we load in with the lead when I put up a couple runs of my own. And I wonder if those couple runs of my own gave me a second fireball instead of just getting one. So that's nice for the momentum. We're going to sweep the A's. We do sweep the A's. Now we're facing the Nationals. Are we going to sweep them too? I don't know yet. I'm not really going to change up much here. So let's get on. Let's see if we sweep those Nationals. Well, I think I'm going to have to play him to do that. And it's a player lock with Jordan Lawler. It's actually perfect timing on that because I was thinking I was only going to play one more game anyway. So this way I don't leave the player lock to start an episode because we all know that doesn't go well for me. But this is actually a really big one to get out of the way early. Because like I said, my thought process behind wanting him to start every day was with that A potential. If he can play well, those attributes are going to shoot up quicker the more he plays. And he's actually, I mean, by his standards, off to a really nice start to the season. 4 homers in 12 games. So yeah, man, if I can manage a good player lock with him today, even if it's just a 1+, we know 1+s actually do pretty good in boosting players' numbers, but if we can get even more than that, I mean, we could kind of force the hand of the game to make Jordan Lawler into a superstar shortstop. So let's do it. Hopefully we're facing a lefty, and we are. So not only do we get the stronger numbers with Lawler facing a lefty, but he also bats slightly higher up in the order, hopefully giving us an extra at bat than he would have gotten batting 9th. But on top of that, we also got to make sure that I play well myself because we still have this winning streak going, and I don't have much of a chance to influence it today by only controlling one guy. All right, so here we go. AB number 1 coming in the 2nd inning with 1 on and 1 out. And come on, go. Get over his head at least. That's gonna go. We did it. I really couldn't tell. We got a gift of a hanging curveball on the first pitch I saw. I almost blew it too because I was late on it. I don't know. It must have just been a fat enough pitch that they gave me a lot of leeway on it, and that's huge. I mean, that alone right there, I feel like I could strike out in every at bat the rest of this game, and I'd still at least get a 1+, if not more. That is so huge. That is such a sigh of relief. Now I don't have to sit here stressing over every pitch and every at bat, going into like the 8th inning hitless. Ooh, but they tied it up. The rest of my team hasn't really done anything here. So Lawler, you know what to do, man, right? Dude, I almost got another one. I was just under that, and even with being, well, not even just under, I was way under it, but even with being way under it, it still almost made it to the track. Ooh, and all right, we are immediately into our next at bat now. We have a lead again, 3-2 in the 6th, 2 on. New pitcher. Man, if I knew he could do it, this would not be a bad spot to try and drop down some kind of bunt over to the first base side. That's a pitch you don't want to miss. Well, I guess, you know what? That's fine, too. That's basically the same effect we would have had if it was a bunt. Oh, but they're going to give him an error. I guess that's fair. All right, top 8. We've got a 4-2 lead. This is probably going to be our last at-bat of the game. And I don't know if that's going to drive him in. He is going to go for it. I probably should have gone to second. And he is safe. Okay, even better then. A second hit, another RBI. I mean, I don't know. I never really know what the point system is for determining if we get the full 3+, but I feel like that hit right there and driving in that run should give us a 3+. And should I take off here? They're probably not gonna let me. Yeah, Mejia's swinging. Ooh, and I should go to third. I can still go to third even though I slid. That's just how fast Lawler is. I can tag up on this too, so we're gonna add another run to the lead. Maybe even help our chances of getting in that third plus if scoring a run does that. I don't know. So there we go, 8-2 win. We wrap it up. I gotta see this 3+ for Lawler, man. I gotta see it. Yeah, there it is. Legitimately the best case scenario we could have had. I was saying it even before we knew we were going to player lock with him, that Lawler having a strong season was going to help his development, and then we get lucky by getting his player lock so early on. We get a full 3+. He is going to be a stud. I guess I didn't point out, just to clear up potential confusion, because I always usually like to do that, but a player lock like that with somebody who's already in the bigs, you don't get the attribute boost from that. And also it's telling me to handle my trade management screen, so that might mean an opportunity to make a trade might be coming up pretty soon here, but I don't think there's anything I want to change, so let's just move on. I think we're still riding this massive win streak here, but we got to take on the Yankees next. This is actually insane. We are 17-2 on a 15-game winning streak. This is the greatest start to a season of all time. It has to be. But that is where I'm going to go ahead and call things for today. I mentioned it last episode, but I'm trying to shorten up these March to October videos for this season just so I can get them out more frequently. And also for anybody still waiting on the Pack Attack finale, it's coming. I didn't forget about it. You'll understand why it's taken me so long to edit when it comes out. And if you're not somebody who is watching my Pack Attack series, then hey, maybe do me a favor and check it out when this finale comes out. I'm hoping to get it up tomorrow. A Thanksgiving Day upload of the Pack Attack series finale. But we'll see. I'm not going to commit to that. Anyways, though, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me again, and I will see you next time.